and we're two of the animal ambassador keepers here at the Central Florida Zoo. So today, for the Zoo to You segment, this is part 1 of 2 for today, we're going to be bringing out some really awesome animals for you to meet. These guys are our bugs, which is like everybody's favorite animals. Here at the zoo, we refer to them as arthropods. These guys go to different educational programs, either here at the zoo, like summer camps or school programs. Sometimes we'll take them off property to go to like the news or festivals. So it's a really cool opportunity for you guys to see these animals up close because they're normally not out in the zoo. Now, we have these different arthropods here, and there's 5 different classifications of arthropods, and we have 3 out of these 5. That is arachnids, insects, crustaceans, millipedes, and centipedes. And 3 out of the 5 we have here. So Christina's actually going to show you our first arachnid that we have brought out for you.
Yes, so this is an Asian forest scorpion. And as Madison said, it is an arachnid, which means that it has 8 legs, 1 to 2 body segments, and mandibles to help it eat. Now these guys live in the tropical rainforest of Southeast Asia, and they like to live under logs and debris. So just like you noticed, he was hanging out under his hide initially, they like to hang out where they're not going to be easily seen. Now scorpions are found on every continent of the world except for Antarctica, but that also means that we have scorpions right here in Florida. But they are usually nocturnal, so you don't have to worry about finding them every day while you're out just randomly hiking. One of the really cool things about scorpions is that they glow and look fluorescent under UV light. So we actually have our flashlight here, and we'll see if we can see that. Now if you guys can see him glowing, give us a like or a thumbs up so that way we know you guys can see our awesome scorpion glowing just like that. Awesome. We'll do it one more time just that way everyone can see the color where he's nice and dark. So if this were outside at nighttime, he's really dark and he's hard to see. But if you were taking a UV flashlight while you were hiking, it's a great way to see these guys because they actually glow. So if you happen to go hiking at night and you want to try to look for some scorpions, take a UV flashlight with you. And as you can see, they glow nice and bright. However, just because you are hiking out at nighttime, make sure that you are being safe. And we obviously don't want you to touch any wild scorpions or bugs while you're out there. So just look with your eyes and you can see them really, really well.
All right, so I actually have our next arachnid that we're bringing out. And don't worry guys, this one has a little bit of hair, so it's even cuter, right? This is our Chilean rose tarantula. Her name is Thorn. So this tarantula here is found in South America in Chile, Bolivia, and Argentina. He's found in scrublands and deserts. So they like to burrow. These guys, you know, if you compare tarantulas to spiders, a lot of times spiders will make webs that they catch food in. These guys will actually live in burrows and come out and get their prey. They might put some silk along the edge of the burrow, but they will actively go after their prey. They have these really awesome mandibles and fangs that they use to eat their prey, and they are venomous. Now I get the question a lot of how many deadly tarantulas are there in the world? Now there's over 800 species of tarantulas, but I can tell you that none of them are deadly to people. However, if you are allergic to them, that can be harmful to you. But typically, if you were to be bit by a tarantula, it would just feel like a bee sting. So these guys really aren't as scary as you might think, and they are really great to have around because they eat a lot of different insects in their environment. Now we were talking about those hairs on their body here, and you can see on this tarantula's abdomen, covered in hairs. And it's a really neat adaptation that helps them sense their environment. These guys don't have the best vision, and they have to be able to sense things around them. Now they'll also use those hairs as a really cool form of defense. They will actually use these back 2 legs here, and they will flick those hairs off of their abdomen, and that can create an irritation in a predator's eyes. It's very itchy, it's very uncomfortable, so that's not something you want on you. So that's really awesome that they have those hairs that they can use for that. Now again, with our scorpion that we were talking about earlier and our tarantula, these guys are both consumers. So they will eat other small arthropods, so other insects, they'll eat small worms, and they go after small prey like that. So they're very important for their environment because they're controlling those populations. Even us as people benefit from them. If you have a spider in your home, it might seem a little scary, but they are controlling bugs that are coming into your house. So, you know, if I have a spider in my home, I'm usually pretty okay with that. I just kind of let him do his job in his environment. These guys are also food for other animals, so they're great to have around, and they help keep the ecosystem really balanced. All right, so the next guy we're bringing out, Christina's gonna show you, and I'm gonna put this back.
Yeah, so we're gonna move from consumers to another really great arthropod, and that is ones that are decomposers. So in here, we have a giant African millipede. Now, just like our scorpion, he likes to live under rocks and debris and other types of things like leaf litter, as you can see in here. We're gonna go ahead and gently take him out and see if he would like to show off some of those really cool features about himself. Now, their instinct is to curl up whenever they are disturbed. And again, if you see a millipede out in the wild, we want you guys to leave them as they are and just watch with your eyes and visually observe them. But if we take a look at him, you can see he has a ton of different legs, and it looks like he's gonna come out for us to hang out a little bit. Now, our millipede here, he's only about a year old, but when he gets older, he's gonna be much, much bigger. So these guys can actually grow up to 12 inches long, which is pretty amazing. And they can have up to 400 legs. So that is quite a lot of legs. As you can see, he's moving there. Now, these guys live in Central and Western Africa. And again, they like to live under debris and under rocks and things like that. And these guys are decomposers. So these are really vital to the environment. Some people get these confused with centipedes. Now, there are some various differences between millipedes and centipedes. So some of the main differences is that each body segment of a millipede has 4 legs, whereas a centipede only has 2 legs per body segment. And as I said, these guys are decomposers, but centipedes, just like our arachnids, the scorpion and the tarantula, are consumers. So they like to eat bugs and other small pests like that. Whereas these guys, the millipedes, like to eat rotting leaves and vegetation that they find on the ground. Isn't he really cool? Look at all those really, really awesome legs. Now, another major difference between a centipede and a millipede is the millipede, this guy here, has a nice round body, where centipedes are going to be nice and flat. Millipedes also have the ability to be poisonous, whereas centipedes can be venomous. So the difference between poison and venom is that millipedes, like our friend here, in order to protect itself, if an animal were to eat it, it could get sick from the poison because it ate it, and it's just not good for birds and things like that. Whereas a centipede can use its mouth and inject venom. So poison is something that has to be ingested, and venom is something that is injected. So you can also think of our tarantula friend. He uses venom to digest his meals. This guy's very active right now. He could just go on and on and on. He likes to walk, and so if you guys can walk around your neighborhood, you guys can go and try to explore outside, even though we are all doing our best to stay inside, just like our millipede friend here. If you guys need to get some exercise, walking is a great opportunity.
All right, so the next animal we're bringing out is another form of decomposer. I will warn you guys, I am bringing out a cockroach. I know that's not everyone's favorite animal, but these guys are really cool. So this is a Madagascar hissing cockroach. On my hand here. So the first thing you might notice, especially if you're from Florida and you're kind of used to the cockroaches, is this guy doesn't have any wings. So he can't actually fly like a lot of the cockroaches we have around here. And they're also pretty slow. They don't tend to scuttle about. They're pretty slow. They like to blend in with their environment so things don't see them. Now, these guys are found exclusively on Madagascar in the forest floor. You can find them under rotting logs, under leaves, and things like that. They're great. Just like the millipede, these guys are decomposers, so they help recycle a lot of nutrients in plants and in the ground. So they're really important for their environment. Now, the reason they're called hissing cockroaches is because they have these really cool holes on the side of their body, and whenever they're frightened or if they're doing a courtship with a female, they have a bunch of different hissing sounds that they can make. They basically push air through those holes, and that creates the hissing sound. They have about 5 different types of hissing depending on what it is. These guys will have a combat hissing, so they'll attack other males, they'll hiss and warn, and they'll actually fight each other. You're gonna notice right here on his head, he has these little horns. So I do actually know that this is a male hissing cockroach. You can tell the difference between males and females. The males have those horns for that ramming, for fighting, and they'll fight over territory and mates and things like that. These guys are semi-communal though. They'll still kind of live together in large-ish groups. We have 2 in here right now, and they do pretty well. Now, you're also going to notice these guys are insects, so that is a very varied group of animals. He does have his antennas here, as well as his segmented body. So these guys, again, found exclusively in Madagascar, so important to have there. Just like the millipede, these guys are eating anything that's rotting, like fruit or vegetables. They're going through the soil, they're recycling nutrients, so they're really awesome to have. They are also prey, so a lot of animals will eat these guys, so that's another ecological role. Maybe not the most fun ecological role, but it's very important in their environment.
All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in today and letting us bug you for a little bit while we show off these really cool arthropods.
Taylor Grimes says that I love tarantulas.
Awesome. We like people who like tarantulas because, like Madison pointed out numerous times, they have very important roles in our environment. So even though a lot of people may not be fans, they are very important. We want to make sure that they can keep doing their job. Now, a lot of you guys are at home, which is a good thing because we're all social distancing and trying to stay safe. So if you're looking for some fun activities to do, we just showed you quite a few different types of arthropods. You guys can go on a bug safari in your own backyard and see what kind of animals and creatures you have crawling even in your own backyard and see if you can identify them. If there are ones you can't identify, you can always look online and see if you can match them to any resources on there. Or once the libraries are back open, a lot of places also have bug guides.
No more questions, just a few more comments. Janlyn J-Lo dislikes creepy crawlers, but I'm sure after this segment, they're going to love them now.
It's okay. You don't have to, want to touch them or look at them. That's okay, as long as you understand how important they are and just kind of let them be and do their job.
They don't want to be in our homes, but if they happen to find themselves in there and you don't want them at your house, you can do what's called a bug cup. So you can take a cup, put it over the little insect or bug, slide a piece of paper underneath it so you don't even have to touch it, take it outside and let it back into its natural environment. So that is still a way to help them do their job. If you don't want them quite as close to you, that is quite all right. But do we have one more question?
How big do the centipedes get?
So centipedes can range depending on what type of centipede. So there are some centipedes that could get closer to 12 inches as well. The ones here in the US don't normally get quite that large, thankfully, but there are some larger ones that live in different continents in Europe. Thank you again so much for joining us and hanging out with us. Make sure to tune in at 2 o'clock to visit our reptile team in El Arthropods.
Thank you.